Welcome back, and now to tech.
Aris, powering your digital world.
China finally gets Facebook and Amazon food delivery and new food technology. Dr. Vili Abraham of the tech department at Sapir Academic College joins us live. Hello.
Hi.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
So we got some good stuff. Facebook entering China. So, why did it take so long?
Okay, well, first of all, they're banned. I mean, apps like Snapchat, Pinterest, Twitter, they're all banned. And that's why there are all sorts of substitutes for these social networks. Now, if Facebook were to enter the market with its name, Facebook, it would have to face tough regulation regarding the information it would have to hand over regarding its users. It would have to create a censorship program. Now, these two things means that a lot of users outside of China, for example, the United States, Israel, and Europe, would be against it because it would say, look, if you're handing over information to the Chinese authorities, maybe you're handing over our information to our government, and this is something that they don't want. So that's why they couldn't do it. So what they did is they've joined another company, a local company, in a joint venture. And the app is called Colorful Balloons, and it's similar to their Moments app.
Okay.
So this joint venture means that they would be able to make all sorts of adaptations to meet the needs of the local population and also comply with censorship regulations from the government.
Interesting. That's very. And how soon is this? Is this like already in place, or this is just kind of right now in the beginning?
I understand it's already available from their app stores.
So now they'll just need to kind of grow it and get it out there.
Exactly.
Because they don't have access to the social media to necessarily know that it's available.
Exactly.
So it's a snowball effect.
Yeah,
hopefully.
and joint ventures is a great stragy when you want to enter a market where you're not really wanted.
Yeah.
So just like
a market you're not wanted. Okay, now the latest in hailing apps, Uber and Lyft, and we're seeing a lot of changes in the consumer car industry as a result.
Exactly. Well, the thing is that Uber and Lyft would always say, with us, people are not going to own cars because it's really cheap. Ride-hailing, we provide really cheap services, and there was really no hard evidence until a study that was conducted by several universities, including Columbia University, and they've conducted a major study. They've interviewed 1,200 people, and they found that 41% of them would buy cars after Uber and Lyft were banned from Houston, Texas.
Okay.
So it means that if there's no Uber and there's no Lyft, people do not want to take the bus, they don't want to take the train, they prefer buying their own car. And I think it's logical because if you look at many places of the world, even here in Israel, in our small country, public transportation is developing, but it's not well developed. So meaning if you get from Beersheba to Tel Aviv, you may have to wait a long time for a connection bus. Or,
right.
Okay, so it means...
It's not Manhattan.
Exactly.
It's just somehow, it's the only city where it all just kind of works.
And this is the future. I mean, in the future, we'll have what is called car sharing. Tel Aviv has started it, and I think people will own cars less. I mean, they won't want to buy cars.
It really is such an alternative in so many, there's so much gridlock, so much pollution. It just is a, environmentally and socially
and parking is so expensive.
Way.
Yesterday, we went with my family to Tel Aviv.
Gas.
For 3 hours, we paid 60 shekels just for the parking and the gas and the traffic jams.
Well, especially here in Tel Aviv.
It's really expensive.
And then not to mention little dings from parking, and then you got to pay to fix the car. It's
and
one thing after another.
There are some places in the world where people make money off of this. Look, as consumers, 90% of the time our cars are idle. We don't use them. And that's why you can rent it to somebody instead of, so it's...
No, it makes sense. It makes sense. All right, now let's talk about the Amazon. We're talking about drones, we're talking about this, but now they're actually getting into the food technology. Did I understand that correctly?
Yes, it's food technology. It's part of the packaged food revolution. Look, more and more people are turning to packaged food. Why? Because first of all, more women have entered the labor force.
Right.
So it means that they're not home to cook. The other thing is that the pace of life,
feel better.
pace of life is really, really crazy, and we work more and more hours. So it means that sometimes there's no alternative. Now, there are some populations like students. For example, when I was a student at Manchester, that's what we would eat, packaged food.
Yeah.
You can't cook. Restaurants are too expensive. So it means that even if it's not really healthy, sometimes you just don't have.
You just do it like a cup of noodles.
Exactly. So anyway, according to a study that was published by Euromonitor, they've analyzed statistics from 54 countries, and this is what they found. I was really amazed. For example, in places like Belgium, the calories consumed are 80% of calories consumed come from packaged food,
Wow.
meaning only 20% comes from fresh food. If you take, for example, the UK, only 1,547 calories come from packaged food as opposed to fresh food. So that's really something.
Which has nutritional issues, you know.
Has nutritional
usually it's
issues.
processed and not.
Exactly.
So, like, what would this do? Like, they're actually looking at it's like dry package kind of thing, because it's like has to do with like the military even, right? Or no?
It's something that was taken from the military.
Right.
It talks about placing sealed packages of food in pressurized water,
right,
and to be worn by
kind of
microwaves,
right,
microwaves for a few minutes,
okay,
as opposed to the existing technology where the process takes about an hour,
okay,
and it doesn't preserve the taste and the nutrients of the food.
And it's going to be healthy, like it's not going to be like chemicals that are going to make it.
It's going to be a bit more
not be
healthy.
refrigerated.
I wouldn't advise our.
I mean, you're not the nutrition consultant, so you know.
Exactly. And the thing is that Amazon has the infrastructure. It has the Amazon Fresh Food infrastructure, which it can use to deliver the product.
Awesome. Thank you. Sorry, I wish we had more time. We could talk about this forever. Thank you. All right, that is it. We'll see you on Friday.
Eris, powering your digital world.
All right, a Nigerian innovator created an app that could beat hunger by fighting food waste. Chowberry lets charities buy food nearing the end of their shelf life and to distribute it to disadvantaged communities. Here's more.
Chizoba Ugwa, a widow in Nigeria, was struggling to feed her 3 children.
It's so difficult for me to get food to feed my family because I don't have work to do. So it was people's help that I managed to feed my children. But now things will be better for me.
Ugwa gets help from the app Chowberry. Software engineer Oscar Ekponimo developed the app to reduce food waste in Nigeria by getting stores to sell their expired or about to expire groceries at a discounted rate to charities, which then distributes the food to poor families. His own experiences of growing up without enough to eat inspired him to come up with the technology.
There was a phase in the family where my dad was temporarily ill and out of work, and I remember vividly during that time period the challenge at home was access to a wholesome meal, a quality meal. We could go a day or two without having a quality meal, and this was something that affected me psychologically and also impacted on my academics. And I always said sometime in the future I would resolve this problem. I would leverage my abilities and capacities to ensure that others don't go through what I went through.
About a third of food produced around the world is never eaten because it's spoiled after harvest and during transportation, or thrown away by shops and consumers, according to the UN. Ekponimo says Chowberry is helping to get perfectly edible food that would normally end up in landfills to those who need it most.
Well, we are looking to impact 50,000 to 100,000 households with affordable nutrition by 2018, by the end of 2018. And the long-term goal is to have this platform evolve into a big data platform. And our value proposition is simple. Simply plug the waste that is going on the food value chain and redirect what would have been wasted to those that need it the most.
Ekponimo won the 2016 Rolex Award for Enterprise. He's working to develop his app further to help cut waste in more parts of the country and save retailers money at the same time.
Coming up next, a unique spin on Palestinian life through cinema. Culture correspondent Daniel Campos will look at films crossing over to the Anglo market. He'll be here live.